My phone buzzes on the pillow next to my head. 6:42 in the morning. The guy 2 floors down is already running a drill into concrete, and I pull the blanket over my ear and groan. I hate that sound. Then the sound gets louder. Wrong louder, not a drill, a crack that goes through my chest instead of my ears, and the pillow under me turns into wet earth. I open my eyes and the ceiling is gone. There's no ceiling. There's a strip of gray sky boxed in by walls of packed mud, and the smell hits before anything else does. Wet soil, smoke, something rotten underneath it. My hands are in the dirt. My hands are not my hands. They're rougher, colder, wrapped around a rifle I don't remember picking up. Someone grabs my shoulder and shoves me sideways. Stand to, move, get up now. A man with a mud-streaked face and a mustache is yelling an inch from me, and I flinch back so hard I hit the wall of the trench. My head, my actual head, still spinning from the concrete drill that isn't happening anymore. Where is my phone? I pat down my chest, my pockets, and my fingers close on something heavy and wrong-shaped. A tin, a water bottle that isn't mine. A coat that smells like wood smoke and mud, buttoned wrong, too big in the shoulders. I look down at myself and I'm wearing a uniform. Khaki stiff, a helmet sliding sideways off my head because I never fastened the strap. New Boys Gone Green, someone mutters behind me, and there's a laugh, short and tired, not unkind. I don't say anything. What do you say? The trench stretches in both directions. A narrow corridor of mud shored up with wooden boards, and men are lining the wall of it, rifles pointed up over the edge at a sky that's just starting to go pale. Dawn. This is what stand to means, I realize. Without anyone telling me, everyone up, everyone armed, everyone watching the same stretch of nothing, because dawn is when the other side likes to attack. I press myself against the wall and try to remember how to breathe normally. A rat runs across the duckboards at my feet, fat and unbothered, and nobody else even looks at it. That's normal here. That's how normal this place is. An older soldier crouches down next to me while the others keep watching the horizon. He's got deep lines around his eyes and a chunk missing from one ear. First, stand to's always the worst, he says. Quiet. You get used to it. Used to what? I say, and my voice comes out wrong. Too thin. He looks at me for a second too long. The waiting, he says, and turns back to the wall. I don't know his name. I don't know my own name here. Not really. Someone called me Danny twice already, and I answered to it because what else could I do? The trench is a maze. It doesn't run straight. It zigzags every 10 feet, so a shell landing in one stretch can't tear down the whole line at once. And duckboards run along the bottom to keep everyone's boots above the worst of the mud, though the mud finds a way in anyway. Cold and constant, soaking through by midday. Stand to ends when the light comes up fully and nothing's happened. The line relaxes all at once, like a held breath let go, and men start moving. Some toward a fire built low in a side alcove, some hauling buckets, one already asleep, sitting up with his rifle across his knees. Someone hands me a mess tin of something gray and thick and calls it stew, though I'm fairly sure it's mostly biscuits soaked in water with a smear of meat paste stirred through. I eat it because everyone else is eating and my stomach doesn't care what world it's in. It's the worst thing I've ever tasted and I finish every bite. Mail's up, someone calls, and there's a shift in the whole trench, heads turning. A man works his way down the line handing out letters, and I watch faces change when they take them. One soldier presses an envelope to his mouth before he even opens it. Another doesn't get one and just nods, like he expected that, and goes back to cleaning his rifle. The old soldier with the torn ear, I hear someone call him Corporal Hayes, pulls a photograph out of his breast pocket without being asked, like it's just something his hands do on their own when the post comes round. A woman, a small boy on her knee, both squinting into sunlight somewhere that isn't here, he doesn't say anything about it. He just looks at it for a while and puts it back. Nobody talks about home directly. I notice that. They talk around it. A joke about someone's mother's cooking, a complaint about the weather that's really about missing weather, that means something else. I want to ask Hayes about the photo. I don't. By mid-morning, I'm put to work reinforcing a section of wall that's slumped from the rain, packing sandbags with a shovel that blisters my hands within 20 minutes. My hands, soft hands, apparently, wherever they came from. The man working beside me, younger than Hayes, maybe 19, shows me how to angle the shovel so I'm not fighting the mud the whole time, and doesn't ask why a grown man doesn't already know how to fill a sandbag. "You're not from round here, are you?" he says. Not looking up? "No," I say. "It's the only true thing I've said all day." He laughs like that's a joke. None of us are. I laugh too because it's easier than explaining. And for a second, it feels almost normal. Two people digging, talking about nothing. Then the whistle blows. Not the gentle kind. Sharp, 3 short blasts, and every man near me drops what he's doing and grabs for something at his belt. The younger one shoves a strip of cloth into my hand, wet, chemical-smelling, and yells, "Gas, get it on gas," and I fumble it over my nose and mouth because I have no idea what else to do with it. Hands shaking, heart going so hard I can feel it in my ears. Nothing comes. No cloud, no smell. Somewhere down the line, someone calls out that it's a false alarm, a runner's mistake, and the whistle blows again. Twice the stand-down signal. My hands are still shaking after everyone else has already gone back to their sandbags. I keep the cloth pressed to my face a few seconds longer than I need to. First one's always a false alarm that feels real. The younger soldier says, not unkindly, "You'll know the real ones. The birds go quiet first." I file that away like it matters, like I'll need it again. In the afternoon, a shell lands close enough that the wall of the trench shudders and dirt rains down over everyone's shoulders, and this time I don't freeze. I'm already moving before I've decided to pulling Hayes back from a section of collapsing sandbag before it comes down on him, and he looks at me like he's reassessing something. "Good reflexes for a green one," he says. I don't tell him it wasn't reflexes, it was something else. Some leftover sense from a world where loud bangs meant get out of the way, not get down and pray. I don't know how to explain that here, so I just nod. That evening, with the light going gray again and stand to called once more, I end up next to Hayes at the wall. Both of us watching the same stretch of quiet field. He takes the photograph out again just to look, and this time he holds it where I can see it. My boy, he says, turned 4 last month. Don't suppose he'll remember what I look like by the time this is done. I don't know what to say to that, so I don't say anything clever. I just say he'll remember you were there when it mattered, not what you look like, that you were there. He doesn't answer for a while. Then he folds the photo back into his pocket and nods, once like I've said something worth keeping. The dark comes down proper, and somewhere along the line, someone starts humming, low, off-key, and a couple of others join in without really singing. Just letting the sound fill the space where the shelling isn't. I lean back against the mud wall, boots soaked, hands split and raw, more tired than I think I've ever been, and I watch the last color drain out of the sky above the trench. My eyes are heavy, heavier, and then they're closed, and when they open again, there's a ceiling above me, an actual ceiling, white, ordinary, and my phone is buzzing on the pillow. 6:42. The drill 2 floors down starts up right on schedule, and I flinch at the sound before I even know why. I lie there a long moment, staring at the ceiling I used to hate, and for the first time in a long time, I don't reach for my phone right away. I just breathe and listen to the noise and let it be for a second. Just noise.